It's
Hi.
This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's This Week in Comics, y'all. This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
How's it going? Happy New Comic Book Day.
Yeah. Happy New Comic Book Day to you.
Thank you.
Did you read any comics?
It's This Week in... Thank you, Nick Khan. It is. How's it going? It's cheesy as hell.
Like macaroni.
Yeah. Burrito time. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Steve?
Yeah.
This
Hey,
Week in
Tyler. How's
Comics
Australia?
is kind of like this week in
Pizza. I said pizza, boy.
Pretzels,
Pizza.
but different.
Pizza.
What's up, La Cruces?
Hello. Welcome. How's New
Las
Mexico?
Cruces. Yeah, it is New Comic Book Day, and there was some big titles this week. There was some big title this week.
I get what you're doing now. Yeah, and like it's kind of funny because like I feel like if Nick were here, we'd be talking about books that we talked about last week, but he's not. So that's probably not going to happen.
Probably not. It's pretty great because it's like, because I was ready to talk about a few Image books that we talked about last week and talking about them again, and Nick's not here, so this is not StreamYard. It's something different. It's something new.
We're the future.
Ayo. You just watched 34 horror movies this month and counting.
Yeah.
I'm still beating you, I think. Come on, Sam King. Let's go. I got bracket numbers.
I'm caught up on Survivor, so.
Well, so am I, but that was pandemic times.
I just meant like this current season.
Oh, yeah, me too, except for what's happening literally
right now as we speak, yeah.
So I'm not caught up. I'm 5 minutes behind as of now on Survivor. But no, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah, you too. It's super cool. I'm excited. I usually don't do that, but with the bracket, I went crazy, and now I'm like kind of hooked. And I'll probably keep horror moving until Halloween. Nick's not here, man. No, he's not.
Yeah. But
too bad.
I mean, we do have one important Nick here.
Ayo.
Welcome. I'm not a
crook. Anywho, so it's This Week in Comics, and I'm going to start off because it's that. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to start off with
Batman
Detective Comics number 1044.
1044.
1044. Tamaki Mora Belair. Art's amazing.
Heck yeah.
I love the art in Detective right now.
Yeah, I mean, the story is great too. It's easily, I think, the best of the two Batman books. Maybe the best Batman book on the shelves right now.
I mean, Batman's super shit right now. What else would it have to compete with? Are you talking about Bat Family? Because it's not the best Bat Family.
No, but I mean, it's the best book with Batman in it, maybe besides
Batman title. Yeah. Yeah,
but
sure.
The one thing I do like about this is that, like, considering Fear State for every book is loosely like throwaway stories.
Yep.
Like, this has actually been a continuation of what's happened in Detective.
Yeah, no,
so it's
just
less
kept it going.
throwaway-y.
No, it's neat.
Mean, it's still
I like it. The backup story in this one was cool. It's different than what they've been doing with backup stories, and I dig it.
How pumped were you for 2 pages of this book?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 4 pages.
Maybe 4 pages? Yeah.
But the only thing is, does that mean that there's possibility that Todd's going to be getting a new book added to his pull list soon?
I know, right? We'll see.
There is a character that shows up in this book that Todd really likes, and we'll, not spoil that for you.
No, yeah, but enjoy it. It's a good issue, and I'm really pleased with this book. It's really funny to go from like reading Batman and being like, this is dog shit. What the fuck is going on? And then going to Detective, it's like, how is this so good? How, like, is it really just because DC is meddling in Batman and lets creatives do Detective because they don't care as much? If that's literally all it is, they need to fucking ease up on Batman, because Detective's great. Big fan.
Yeah, and
I would drop Batman before I would drop Detective.
Yeah, well,
easy.
Yeah, if I weren't probably like trying to collect Batman as much.
Yeah, you're different because you're literally going for all of the Batmans. Hey, Ignacio.
And I do really like Jimenez or Jorge Jimenez's art.
Yeah, it's great.
But I mean, Dan Mora's is great too.
I mean, it's Mora.
Yeah. I do. I kind of like that backup story too. The backup
too.
story was written by Stephanie Phillips.
I
forgot. I'm sorry that I forgot the rest of the talent, but yeah, it's kind of like a Bruce Wayne story, which is kind of cool. Also, the thing that's kind of weird about this book is that it's happening during Fear State, and it's Batman, but Batman's also doing the main part of Fear State, and it's kind of like, okay. It's almost like there's two Batmans, and they're both the same person.
David Lapham is on art, Trish Mulville is on colors, and Rob Lay is letters. Also, Batman was created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger.
Speaking of Finger.
It hurt. But yeah, no. Awesome. It's great.
It's technically not pink. It's a different shade.
It's pink.
But yeah.
I like it too.
But it's
I almost wore my pink comic burrito shirt, so I'm sorry.
This is actually the Poser designed color palette.
Poser and Pals.
Speaking of Dan Moore on art.
Hey, Flashback.
Once Future. Number
21 oh my God.
Studio. Dan Moore on art and Kieran Gillen on the writing, and a Golden Burrito Award winning colorer, Tamara Bonvillain.
Yeah, buddy. So what you think?
I think the one thing, it's starting to get a lot better now, but I think the one thing that kind of, for me personally, that when I first started Once in Future, that I said, like, not knowing Arthurian lore is pretty fine for this book in the start. I think the deeper that it's gone, the more important it is to maybe how much fun you're having.
I think that they're getting away from that. Now it's more, you need to know your mythology in general at this point. They're digging deep into other stuff now.
Any sort of lore is
We're getting
somewhat
some
more
Greek
important.
mythology now and some Roman shit just like sprinkled in, and I think it's going to be a whole thing. Being a big mythology fan from it's been a while since I've been like actively into it, but it was a really big like later teen, early adult time when mythology, I just was really deep into it. I really love this book. And there's a little snippet in the very beginning with Gran and Rose that I just fucking loved. I was like, that is amazing. I love, they just have a really interesting interaction that you don't usually see in media, but I really dug it. And I was like, that's nice. And then they moved along and it was really cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I also dig it. And also for some reason on my list, I wrote that this was Once in Future number 1. So
that's a key issue.
Yeah. Kiki.
About their physicalies I have. Oh, yep. Wonder Woman Black and Gold. Oh, nope. Did the wrong thing. Wonder Woman Black and Gold came out today. Number 5.
Who's she sitting on? Is that Black Adam?
Nope. Just 2 dudes.
Just 2 dudes?
One of them professing his love for her.
Who made that cover? Do you know? Does it say? Sorry.
Yeah, it does say.
All these questions before you're going to go and take your thing.
By Julian Totino Tedesco. It's great. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I did really like that B cover too, though.
Yeah. I don't know. A cover gang. I really like this series. I think there's hits and misses with all these anthology type ones. But I really wanted to point out Memories of Hater. It's written and drawn by Trung Lee Win, lettered by Rob Lay, and I love it. I love the art style. It's super cute and it's super well done, and I also really like the lettering. Good job, Rob. And I just think it's really great. They keep having these types of like, it's less of the like standard comic book styles, and I really like the using anthologies to explore less mainstream art and story choices. It makes sense. There's no risk. Like you have it starts with a Tomasi story. Like,
how's that one?
You got your Tomasi. It was good. It was very Tomasi. It's a little heavy for the very first one. I was like, it's real cool looking though. That's the first page of the Tomasi one. I'm like, oh, hell's a poppin'. Like, come on. But then they branch out and they actually go down some other avenues of like art and storytelling and just something off the norm. And that's what I want out of these. If it's more of the same, if it's just reading what you're already publishing, I don't really get the point. But like taking some risks and having some fun with like a mandatory color palette is really cool. And I dig it. And this is 5. I think 6 is the last one. I think there's only one more. And Liam Sharp's in it. So Nick, if you're still watching, Liam Sharp's in the next one.
Well, that's fun. Has it all been about Diana?
Yeah, there's been a few not, I think. I don't remember. There's too much Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman, all those things in my life right now, and this has been happening for 5 months. I think there was non-Diana stories, but I think it's a vast majority of Diana, maybe all of it. But yeah, it's really cool. I guess there's one story in here that I don't think is Diana. No, she's kind of in it, but she's not the main. Yeah. Anywho, Wonder Woman, Black and Gold #5. I dig it. If you're not on it at this point, I'm sure they'll do a trade, and I think it's well worth it because it's super cool.
So I read the first issue. So Digger Jim, he was on a chat with us. He read the first issue. I read the first issue because he read it on Friday. On a different channel. He was talking about it. He read the first issue. I read the first issue. I like the first issue. I like where it's going. I know Todd had some issues with the ending, so I'm kind of prepared for that.
No, it ended up being the second to last issue that I had issues with. I finished it up and I liked it. Overall, I think it was a good time.
I think it's fun. It's got good characters.
I still think it dipped, in my opinion, from what I was liking from the very first part. But I think it's still worth the read for sure. Like if you're already read one, I'd be like, yeah, you just keep going. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I already have them, so might as well read them.
Yep.
Black Hammer. #5 came out. This is kind of like, so this is super weird for me because issue 2 came out 2 weeks ago. Came out on issue 4 came out on October 13th. So that seems kind of crazy for a book like this, but also they changed the artist, and it was Caitlin Yarsky was on it.
She's
originally,
awesome.
And now they changed it to, and I'm sorry, Mullachard Ward and
she was on Bliss.
Sheenan. Yeah. And like, it's not that this art is bad. It's kind of the same thing with Batcat, right? You take an artist like Clayman and then you change it to Liam Sharp. Both of those guys are very good artists, but they're both completely different artists. So like on a story that's all continuously told, it definitely seems a little bit weird.
Can we get a peek of what it looks like?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not, I don't know. I mean, like, that's the thing. It definitely looks like Black Hammer art. This first page is a bad page because it doesn't really explain it as much, but that might kind of ruin some of the story. But like, I guess here, I don't know if this ruins something or not. Well, here's kind of like some stuff, like.
Okay. It looks like
Black Hammer. It's similar to like some of the Black Hammer stuff, but it's not very similar to like what she was doing. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like. It's still a good issue.
The art at some point, and it looked awesome.
Yeah, it's still a good issue, but it's kind of like when you have a like big stylistic change for a book that came out 2 weeks ago, it seems kind of silly for me.
Yeah, that's
I don't
weird.
know. Maybe that's just me. I mean, I still like it. Obviously, you probably don't want to pick up Black Hammer Reborn #5 as your first one.
It's delicious. That's cool.
But that was kind of jarring. I didn't love that. But hey, it happens sometimes. And you know what? Other people need work. But I just wish that sometimes it didn't happen in the middle of an arc.
Hi, Ricky.
Is Matrix Reloaded the new one, or is that one of the old ones?
No, that's the middle one.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Because it was Matrix Reloaded and then Revolutions, I believe. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
I just know that Matrix 1 was the first one.
Good call. You're smart.
And that's the only one I've seen.
Oh, I'm still Dungeon as Pumpkins. That was from D&D. What else did I read? I don't have it. I read Mother of Madness #3, the final issue. It is written by Emilio Clark. Oh wait, no, I do have that one. Man, I'm so used to not having my physicals on Wednesdays, but I actually went today. Mother of Madness, Emilia Clarke, Marguerite Bennett, and Layla Lays. It is amazing. I love this thing. It is great.
And that's the final issue, right?
This is it. I think they did a really fucking good job. For 1 and 2 being such heavy reads, this is like the opposite. It's much easier to read. It's a much faster read. It's not nearly as dense as the first 2. And I think it was great. It really made it a better ending. It felt the first 2 were a lot of like setup and build, a lot of story and all of that. And this one was like, here's the payoff, here's the payoff, here's the payoff, here's all the stuff. And it's great. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I pre-ordered the hardcover because I am happy to have this all collected.
Well, that's good to hear. I definitely
look at that cover.
Yeah,
how fucking cool!
Read it today because I forgot my tablet at home, and I was like, I don't really want to read this on my phone because it's kind of like one of those books that takes a lot and there's a lot of dialogue. But it's funny that you say that this one wasn't.
No, you might have been okay.
Like it's just kind of like maybe I should ask that. But I mean, sometimes it's hard to know too. And I don't know. Even though I have a fairly big screen phone, it's not the best way to read.
No, it's still not ideal. Opinion. Really, any comic, even the most, maybe Hedra is like okay for a phone.
I've noticed some like comics that are very good at doing like the 3 panels that are long are good if you read it in the like read mode, or like Injustice was one that I'd occasionally read.
Oh well, yeah, because that's like meant for
to be read on your phone. Almost.
Yeah, that was perfect. I read that on my phone a few times too. But yeah, no, Mother of Madness, holy shit. Like I think a lot of people either stopped after 1 or didn't grab it at all. I super recommend the collected edition. I think it's really cool. It'll be really awesome as a full read. Take an hour.
Sorry that you don't do shrooms.
I
wonder if you read I Breathed a Body. Those are the only 2 mushroom related books. There's shrooms on the cover.
I usually don't do things with weird tentacled mouth things, but I still think this cover's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess for me, I don't usually ride around on Pegasuses.
Hey.
I still like Pegasuses. Pegasi. I don't know how you do that one.
Pegasus?
Huh.
Pegasus.
Did
Wonder Girl.
This is
no, I'm not pulling it. So
okay. Yeah, I didn't know. It's
not one of my pulls.
I know you kind of said with some minis.
I'll be getting the collected of Wonder Girl though.
So this issue, it definitely kind of changed. Like the thing that you disliked about it the most is less kind of into this.
Cool.
But it did do something that is kind of similar to what you didn't like, but I think that this will be less likely. So it kind of goes in between this like training session and then these kind of like inner dialogue-y, like they're big, like I mean I guess I could show one because I don't think they really ruin much, but they're kind of like these like more negative-y spacey looking panels, like full page spread kind of deals. So like Here's an example of one where it's just all like inner monologue and like just a bunch of different pictures.
That's cool.
So it goes between that and then this. So like where I think a lot of us said, here's like, and then this is what the normal art looks like. So like when a
Sure.
lot of us said that the art change between the two was pretty jarring in I think issue 2 and 3,
2
maybe.
and 3. Mm-hmm.
This one definitely, it still has that, but I think that the way that they kind of utilizes that like white space and stuff like that, it's less noticeable, at least for me personally.
Cool. It seems
and
more intentional.
Yeah. So
that's cool. Yeah, I did not like that. I also just didn't like so much of the story not being about Yara.
Yeah, and this page is pretty much all about her. It kind of like ties everything together with kind of giving her own story too. So
that's cool. I saw one spoiler panel on accident while on Reddit. It was just under the comic book subreddit, and it was a panel of Yara and the art. I'm not gonna say what was going on, but it looked amazing. I was like, "Oh my god, why did I not pull this book? It's so pretty. It's so well done."
Garb.
Yeah, she's like done up.
Yeah. Okay. I know the exact panel then.
It looks
because
real
throughout
tight.
most
of
it,
like, shit.
she's wearing like this like
yeah
white roby type outfit, and like I don't know, but she has this like armor. It's what she wore in the
Future State.
Yep. There is maybe a character that I'm pretty sure is from Future State. It's been so long since Future State came out that I kind of remember the exact character, but I think there's a character returning.
Cool. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get the trade because the art alone is entirely worth it.
Yeah. Like I would say for this issue,
who's that artist?
Joel Jones, but there's also
there's somebody else, but Joel Jones is what you pay your money for.
Yeah, something mellow.
Joel Jones's art is the ticket right there. Yeah. That's all you need. It's so good. I only have one physical book left. It's kind of a biggie.
Well, then go with you can do a digital.
I'm just gonna get through my stack and then I'll go through. House of Slaughter #1 is a book from Boom Studios that came out today. That says Moon Knight. House of Slaughter #1. Oh my goodness. I may have other covers coming from somewhere else. It is created by James Tynion and Tyler Bromble. Tyler, right?
Were the Delato? Deladera?
Tate Bromble.
Well, he writes
but then the writer is Tate Bromble. Illustrated by Chris Sheehan, colored by Mikel Muerto, and lettered by World Design.
Tate Bromble was the guy that wrote the Barbalian story with Jeff Lemire.
That's right. I was like, I know that name from something, which was real good.
I completely forgot that he wrote this, but now that I kind of see the story that's coming out of this, it makes a little bit more sense. I love this issue. I mean, like, I don't know. I've heard people
I was
not into this, and I'm like, how are you?
I guess I was ready for it to be different, so I had very low expectations, and I enjoyed the time. It's a cool world, and I'm excited to get more out of it.
I have found out that there's a lot of people out there that think that Something Is Killing the Children should only been 12 issues or 14 issues or whatever it was. So they don't want to get into the lore, and I'm really in it. I'm all in it. Like
when you don't have to pull the comic. It's great.
Yeah.
It works out well. No one's forcing you to get the comic, so it works out. Whereas I want to know more about this world. I think it's super interesting.
Agreed.
And I like this book. It was good. The art's solid, and the story. I mean, it wasn't anything mind blowing because I think it's a proper #1. They're not setting sights too high. I feel like it can build really well off of this one and keep going instead of being like, that was amazing. Oh, this happened and this happened. Holy shit. Wow. And then #2 is like, bleh. I think this has a good chance to just.
Yep. And I think too, this story is a story that can be told that some people will probably enjoy reading because it helps maybe them with some stuff. I mean,
yeah.
And it's not taking a character that people will get upset about and change how they live their life to help, bring people into comics.
The beauty of indie comics. There aren't people who be like, the tradition.
This wasn't my baby. I don't know what that means. That's funny. I also only have one more physical comic.
Oh, dang. What could it be? That's not it. We talked about that last week. I have that one too from today. Oh yeah, I
Which
stopped.
the one thing that I kind of hate about this book is, oh hey, welcome. Hope you're feeling a little better.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I don't know what's going on, but
A while back,
I hope you're feeling
somebody, I
better
mean,
too.
this was a few months ago. He got hit by a car on his bike.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I hope you're doing better. Oh my god. Holy
But
shit.
I've been loving Moon Knight. There was a guest appearance of a character that you can see on the cover that I just showed. But
okay.
to get back to what I kind of hate about this book, I kind of love it, but I kind of hate it. All the covers look completely different. Like, you know how a lot of books will like kind of have these
they
covers.
are varied.
Like all these covers look different. Where it's like I looked at this one, I was like, did I accidentally get a variant cover? And no, I did not. That's
It'll be really cool when Scotty Young has an A cover. They're just going with everything.
Like, okay, this is an Nike Fairland, but yeah, this is. I don't exactly know how this story is going to peak out because it didn't have like a to be continued or anything. It seems like this might just be like, because the first arc was 3 issues. I think this might just be one singular
Is this
issue.
A singular issue?
Of
Weird.
kind of like, and there's not, I mean, like, it's mostly to just like character development. So I really like that, you know.
Okay, that's cool. I dropped after 3 because of my pull list decimation. Which also it worked out well because I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna stop it. Oh, it's the arc's done. Cool. But yeah, if number 4 is like solitary, I might grab literally just number 4 because I love some character development on its own.
That being said, it could keep going because Tigra, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but she is in the story and she kind of is helping Mark deal with some issues that he's dealing with, but it's just kind of this like fun story, and you get to see more of his secretary kind of dealing with her stuff, and it's kind of funny where she's like, oh, can I be her secretary instead of yours, Mr. Knight?
That's funny.
His name's Mark. He has a name,
Mark. That's
Mark
cool.
is always such a sad name. I don't know why. Sorry if there's any Marks here.
Sorry, Marks.
Yeah, but I'm a Mark for Moon Knight, if you know what I'm saying. But there's definitely a very cool panel in this where he's flying and it's just the crescent moon, and that's such a cool thing about Moon Knight when the crescent moon happens while he's flying.
Word.
Speaking
of crescent moons and flying, crescent moon's actually only a fraction of a full moon. Speaking of fraction, Matt Fraction had fucking finally came out. Adventure Man number 6. Oh my god, it happened, everybody. I'm so goddamn excited.
Well, number 5 came out a few months ago, or a month ago.
Number 6. I'm just excited to get more Adventure Man.
Oh yeah, because I think you were gone that week.
Yeah, I was gone. I haven't talked about it, so I didn't get to express my excitement. Number 6, Adventure Man, Matt Terry Dotson on pencils and colors, Rachel Dotson on inks, Clayton Cowles on letters, and it's fucking rad as fuck. I love this book. I love the art style. I think the story is interesting. It is super friendly to young adults while also being like not bogged down by what's normally YA. Fraction is doing something really dope right now, and I love this book. It's fucking cool. It's fucking cool.
For when number 5 came, but the one criticism I kind of had with number 5 was that hiatus really sucked. You got the hardcover, so you reread it, I would assume. So you were probably not in the same spot as me, where it's kind of like I kind of read issue 5 and I was like, I should probably just get that hardcover and read that.
What happened?
Come back to it.
Yeah, no, it for sure helped because that was a long ass time to wait.
Yeah, I did like kind of was like, this is cool and I'm enjoying this, but also I don't know what's happening or what's going on.
It's great. I love some of the new characters we're seeing and what they're doing with the world. I'm super invested. I looked back over it and it's like, it's actually a fairly dense book, but I fucking just fly through it. Like it's enthralling to me.
Bigger. And that first issue was like 50 pages.
Yeah.
Or no, 80 pages, right? Wasn't
it was a big boy. Yeah, this was still 24 issues, but there's like dialogue on every page and there's just stuff going on. 22 pages. But it's great. I love it. I'm so fucking pumped about this series. Oh my God. All about it.
Yeah. Speaking of digital books that I'm pumped about this series for, Hector and Merlin.
Oh
Merlin and
yeah,
Hector, number one.
Merlin
This
and
is from
Hector.
Red 5, and it's called The Swineherd and the Thief. But it is written by Paul Enns. Oh wait, no, this is the comic itself. I don't know who writes the comic itself. It's kind of weird in the way that this is. Santello and Jock. But I really enjoyed this book. I kind of definitely, I don't know. It still could definitely be something. There's a name of a person in the thing where you think something might happen with this character and it doesn't kind of happen. And you're like, oh, okay. But I think this is fun. It kind of deals with a pig thief. And it's kind of like what I guess it's kind of in older time. The art is kind of like, sort of, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of reminds me of Mike Mignola. And I'm terrible at saying his name. So sorry. But you probably show off a few pages.
Magnolia?
Is it called? I think it's Magnola. I don't think it's Magnolia.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know. It's kind of written weird. But yeah, like, I mean, you can kind of see.
I read it when we had Red 5 on, talking about the box and stuff like that. But oh my God. So it's great. It's super cool. The art style is super interesting, and I'm very much in for the rest of them.
Yeah, and from what we've seen, I think Red 5 too has a lot of solid stories. So yeah, I mean, like that art, I dig that art. That art is super rad. So I think if you like that, I mean, you can kind of tell from the cover too. Yeah, it's a fun story. It kind of doesn't do as much as I thought it would do, but like I was super invested in the story and really enjoyed it.
I have 2 more books. Swamp Dogs #1 came out. It's a Black Caravan book being published by Scout Comics. It is Scout. It is a zombie, as far as I can tell, zombie book. Which, where the fuck it? There we go. J.M. Brandt and Theo Prasidis is the writers, colored by Ruth Redmond and illustrated by Cuber Bale, and lettered by Steve Wands. Covers by Robert Semelin.
He does a lot of Black Hammer stuff.
He does. It's an interesting book. I think that #1 did not have enough of what actually is going to happen in the rest of the book to really get a feeling for what this is going to be. But I'm excited to see what #2 is like, because #1 was a lot of setup and a lot of like getting the characters in place, getting an idea of who these people are and all of that. And now the ending was like, okay, now the action's starting. Let's see what we're getting into. So I'm excited to try out #2.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree with the statement you just made. The thing that this book does is it kind of tells 3 stories in one story. And I feel like we just kind of didn't get enough in any of the 3 stories, but it ends on a good cliffhanger. But like, it kind of felt like we were a little bit, the middle story was the story I enjoyed the most. And it seemed like we kind of like didn't get enough of any of them. But I think like you said, I think that I think this is going to be a book that like, it's probably going to read pretty solid in trade.
I think it's like a trade book that might be split apart, which is fine. That's what comics are sometimes. But this one feels like #2 is going to fucking help a lot. Like I'm excited because it looks great too. The art's great in it. It's solid. But yeah, no, just waiting for some more. Which nothing's wrong with that. I like a #1 that relies on getting better. It leaves more room to grow. So
yeah, and I mean, like there are books out there like Knock 'em Dead was a great book, and I hated the first issue, and then you just kind of were like, all right, Cole, like I know you dropped that after the first issue, but maybe check out the next 2 issues. And then I did, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And like, I mean, like maybe the book wasn't as solid at the end, but like that book did something on the 3rd issue before the book really took off, and it like that in itself was
pretty wild. I couldn't believe that. I was like, this is why I have my 3-time rule. And it paid off.
Yeah, and that used to be kind of my rule, but there's like certain books where it's kind of like
you just hit the eject button.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was just kind of like I guess I thought it was going to either be scarier by the cover or funnier by the cover,
and it was neither.
And it was neither of those things. It was kind of depressing and sad.
It was
like,
real
not
sad.
like in a scary way, like Ice Cream Man, just in like a way like I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But
I
yeah,
also
Swamp Dogs. I would check out number 1, and especially if you get the Scout
Yeah.
box, you're
Yeah,
probably
you're gonna
set.
get
I
it.
don't even.
It's on it.
And then you'll check out number 2. But yeah, number 1 and 2. I think number 2 is going to be worth the price of number 1.
So I definitely lied, and I'm sorry that my integrity might be a
How
little bit
fucking
taken.
dare you?
But I have one more that I own, and
You
it is
son
Chew,
of.
number 9.
How dare you?
And man, this is John Layman and Dan Boltwood for art. This like I didn't like as I was reading this, I was just like, you know what, the Chew universe or the Chewniverse, I don't know if that's something that they call it.
Chewniverse.
I love that the like Chew with an EW is about a cop, and Chew with a U is about a thief. And I think it's so cool to see how there's these food related powers. And like the weird thing is too, this book really has nothing to ever do with the chicken shortage, which is kind of random, but it's so fun. This is like, there's a lot of time travel in this one and some crazy stuff going on, but it's like a time travel-y, like, well, the second arc is very time travel-y heist book. So if that seems like something you're into, I like the art. The art is a little bit more in this. I don't know. There was something about the art. It was like kind of a kid book or a YA book. Chew and Chew are both, but like the art in the first one was very off-putting in some, like I feel like women's boobs were very weird. And I remember like Aaron from Girls Talk Comics mentioned something about it because like the way that they drew women were very unproportional. Granted, in this one it's still kind of unproportional, but it's like less like upsetting,
So it's
maybe is a good word.
exaggerated.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just kind of the cartooning style. Like obviously, like women have way smaller waists than they do in real life, but it's kind of just like, well, and like, you know, like I don't know, here's kind of like the main two girls in it, so you can kind of see like their body style right there, where it's like
Sure,
really big butts and smaller waists, but I don't know, it's less like jarring, I think, than the other one was.
than the first one. That's good.
But I like the story. It's fun little time travel heist romp that involves
Nice.
food-based powers.
It's pretty cool. Speaking of pretty cool, I have one more book that I read this week, and it's Philadelphia number 18. Rodney Barnes, Jason Son, Alexander Lewis, Nicked NCT, and Chris Mitten. It's fucking dope. This is awesome. I love where this shit's going. And now, if you didn't get your Nita Hawes last week, you're also getting the Nita Hawes' monster blog. What the fuck? What is it called?
Something like that.
Paranormal blog. What the hell? Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog. So you can get 2 Killaverse books this week, and man, I love Philadelphia right now. It never really slumped. It just stopped being like right up there. And it's right back to where like I was fucking digging on it. I love the direction. It's added a new layer to the main story this time again. I'm assuming this is the end of the arc because it's 18. 6, 12, 18. I think Philadelphia arcs are in 6s. And this is cool. I'm fucking pumped. I'm ready to go. I need 19 like tomorrow. Yesterday. Philadelphia will sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. But yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic. Holy shit. If you're trade waiting, you're in for a goddamn treat in like a month or 2.
I think that the image trades, depending on how the story goes, they usually come out when the next issue comes out. So I think Rodney's been pretty solid at trucking along.
Oh yeah,
you might get in a month.
Yeah, that's why I said a month or 2. Yeah, just depends.
I don't know why I assumed that you were said a lot longer. I assume you said 6 months.
Apparently. I said a month or 2. I literally said a month or 2.
Welcome to Miami by Will Smith.
I was like, why is he just repeating what I'm saying? I was ready for you to disagree, and then it's like, that's everything. Yep. Okay. Yeah, cool. But yeah, Philadelphia. It's awesome. It's great. Fucking go for it. It's so good. It's so good. That's it for me. That's all my books.
I've read
Rapid
3 other
fire
books.
cold time.
Okay, Rush number 1. This is Sal Spurrier.
Oh, I'm in the middle of it.
On Vault. I really like Sal Spurrier. I think that he does some very good stuff, but I think there's certain things that I read from him sometimes I'm not nearly as into them as I think that I'm going to be into them. And I think there's a style of book that he writes that he does differently. Like Swamp Dogs kind of started off similar to this book. In the end, I definitely really liked the ending of Rush, but like it's one of those where like if I didn't like Sal Spurrier, I probably might not read the second issue.
It's Cy Spurrier, right?
Cy Spurrier. I don't know why I keep saying Saul.
Okay, I'm like, am I
It's
pronouncing?
Simon.
Is that
His
supposed
name's
to be
Simon, I think.
Is that supposed to be SL? I've always thought it was Cy, and then
It is, and I just
okay,
don't
Cy
know why.
Spurrier.
But
I'm
but yeah,
halfway
it's kind
through,
of this,
and I'm digging it.
yeah, it's
I
kind of
just-
like
I
this
didn't get
old
to finish it.
westerny tale of a lady who's lost her son,
Mhm.
and it gets kind of
I know
spooky
that
at the end.
Little spoops.
There's another book that I read. It's called We Don't Kill Spiders, number 2, and it has.
Whoa, wait,
Vikings
that came
in
out
it.
this week?
Yeah.
How did I not see it?
I don't know.
Shit.
It's probably called like We WDKS.
Oh my god, it is. No, I'm reading that tonight.
This is a book about a witch warlocky lady, and there's Vikings in it, and
Hell yeah.
there's a pig in this one.
There are spiders.
There is actually a very large spider in this one.
Dope. They're also
And I also-
all over the cover.
I also read Human Remains number 2 by Vault, and I really, really liked Human Remains number 2. And I read 12 books this week, or Human Remains number 1. I read 12 books this week, and Human Remains number 2 might be my 12th book of the week. But I also think that something pretty cool might happen in that 3rd issue. So it's kind of one of those wonky, weird things. So the whole concept, I don't know if you even read issue 1 or not, Todd, but the full concept of this book is that there's these like aliens and or monsters that show up and deal with your human emotions. So like when you're acting way crazy emotional, they'll just come out, whether it's happy, sad, anything. And this one didn't really go into that nearly as much as the first one did. And I don't know, the first issue starts at a wedding.
I did not see that.
I also did not see that. Is that one of the comic horror fest? But no, there aren't any. Those are only Marvel this year.
I did not see that.
There's like that. I don't know. It's called Comic Fest or Horror Fest, the Halloween thing, Halloween Fest. Those are apparently there's 4 Marvel books this year, and our shop is also bringing other ones. And there's going to be a publisher there, maybe.
Neat.
And there's going to be a person to do art.
All right.
I might take my daughter there.
Cool. Do we got a top 5?
Yeah, you want to do top 5?
Top 5.
All right. My
I
number
10.
In the number 5 spot for me is going to be Wonder
9.
Girl, number 4.
My number 5 is Once in Future, number 21.
My number 4 is Moon Knight, number 4.
It's a number 4. My number 4 is House of Slaughter, number 1.
My number 3 is Detective Comics 1044.
Solid. My number 3 is Adventure Man, number 6.
My number 2 is Merlin and Hector, number 1.
My number 2 is Mother of Madness, number 3.
And my number 1 is House of Slaughter, number 1.
My number 1 is Killadelphia, number 18. Hell fucking yeah. Back to Killadelphia being number 1s. Let's go.
Yeah,
also, really number 1 is that Texas Blood. 11.
Yeah, for sure.
If we're going off of actual like official release, it seems, because we got it again in just the whole thing and all that, it would have beaten Killadelphia 18 for me, not by a ton, but that Texas Blood was too fucking good, and I'm way too pumped for 12.
Ice Cream Man number 26 was my 5 last
that would
week.
be,
and that might even be my
thought on
one
it
this
more.
week.
Would it be up there now?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I think that the books that came out last week were a lot more. Like, I don't think that I really read as many bad things this week. Like, I think the top to bottom is a lot closer this week than it was. But like last week, I feel like the top 5, all of those books were solid. Like, I mean, even Vinyl at number 6 was probably would have easily made my top 5 this week.
I think
right, top 3.
My top 5. Mother of Madness in Philadelphia would have stayed true into the top 5, I think, because I really liked those. If I was incorporating last week, it would probably be the top 4 would be some order of That Texas Blood, Ice Cream Man, Philadelphia, Mother of Madness, and then Adventure Man would probably go. There's a lot of Image in there.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I know that there were some people that were kind of complaining that it's kind of like the paper shortage definitely kind of sucks for like these kind of weeks where like some people are like, I had 2 really small weeks and now I'm stacked with books and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But hey,
I'm curious how I'll be doing now with my trade waiting. It'll be interesting to see how the paper shortages affect even that, like, because they're not doing it as it's not as time crunchy.
Yeah, right. So it probably won't.
And it's usually on different paper and stuff. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Anywho, that's been This Week in Comics. Let us know what your top ones of the week are.
In the comment below. Or join our Discord and tell us there.
Yeah, tell us there. You know. Do a thing. Smash a button.
Yeah, smash a
Whichever button you want to smash, you fucking smash the shit out.
It could be a down. It could be an up. It could be a share.
Yep.
If you want to go to your let's
copy embedded. You could get it in your website if you really want.
Let's bring this one back. You know, like now that things are starting to open up a little bit more, it's more okay for you to go to your neighbor's house, ask them for their phone, and subscribe to Comic Burrito on your neighbor's phone.
Yeah, make sure you guys are both vaccinated, and then just grab their phone and subscribe.
That's a blast,
but yeah, it was. That's been a while. But yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Be awesome, and you guys rock.
Yeah, and be nice to everyone. I'm Cole.
And this has been
This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. This Week in Comics. Yeah.